All right, welcome everyone. We'll give it a minute or two while some stragglers come on. Right. While folks are funneling in, if you guys have any questions throughout, there's two options. There's a Q&A. There should be a Q&A option where you can ask questions within Zoom. I think there's a chat option as well, but we'll either hit those throughout or hit them at the end. All right, let's get rolling. And this will be recorded, so after, I think you'll get an email copy of the webinar. We also posted it on Clearstory's website. So if you need to forward it on or go back, you can access it there. So yeah, for today's webinar, we're going to be focused on the Clearstory and Procore integration. Predominantly the integration with Procore financials. So if you use other Procore modules like project management, but not the financials, you can still grab documents and connect to the project management side. But for this webinar, we're going to be focused on the link on the Procore financial side. So quick agenda. We'll run through quick introductions. We're not going to focus on Clearstory, like a demo of Clearstory or anything, but we'll give a quick overview. And then the meat of it's going to be a demo of Clearstory and Procore financials. So, my name is Greg Seldon. I'm an account executive at Clearstory. Spent about 15 years on the general contractor side with large kind of E&R top 10 type general contractors before joining Clearstory. Jessica?
Yeah, I'm Jessica. I also come from the GC world. Spent about 10 years on that side before coming to Clearstory. And I was a Procore user for all of those 10 years. So well versed in how Clearstory and Procore can interact together.
All right. So if you're not familiar with Clearstory, just a few quick points. Clearstory was started in 2018, 2019, so we've been around about 7 years. Work both with general contractors, subcontractors, as well as owners. There's been about 26 billion shared through the platform so far, about 11,000 contractors, and about 70% of the E&R top 25. Our focus is really how change order risk is communicated between subcontractors, GCs, and owners. So regardless of what internal accounting tool everyone uses, you can use Clearstory to communicate and align on change orders, T&M tags, pricing requests. Today, we're obviously going to focus on how you can then take that and update your internal forecast through the Procore change event. But regardless, of what ERP system or backend financials you use, Clearstory can be used as a tool to communicate and align between parties. And on the Procore integration, go ahead, Jessica.
Yeah, so this slide's just showing you how easy and simple it is to use the Procore integration. We only push into a few pieces into Procore, so we keep it simple, try to make it as easy as possible for you guys, including getting your projects mapped. So we'll walk through that when we get to the demo.
Yeah. And these are the fields that we actually write data into. So from a field mapping perspective, there's also a lot of other fields that you'll see during the demo that we pull data from in Clearstory.
This slide's just walking through some of the benefits of the Procore financials integration. That graphic to the right, I really like this graphic. It shows you kind of what our purpose is. We're going to collect all that information, make sure it gets funneled into Procore accurately. And we'll give you visibility to everything that's not in Procore or that maybe needs to be updated in Procore.
All right. Do you want to jump into, we'll stop sharing this screen and jump into a demo.
Let's see. Lost my screen that I was supposed to be sharing. Here we go. All right, so we want to talk mapping first. That's super simple. Once it's set up at a project level or at a company level, we'll map it to your project. And you simply click into your project. You'll have a Procore option down here under advanced settings, and you just edit and map it to the associated project from Procore. Once we do that, that's when we can start using our change order log to get all of our Procore change events assigned. You'll see here we have several assigned, unassigned, or needs an update. This can all be filtered. It's going to give you that visibility you need to see what is accurate, what maybe needs an update, or what you haven't pushed into your forecasts at all. So we'll push this top one in here, this unassigned option. When you select any change orders from your received log or your sent log, you'll have this Procore button in the top right. You have the option to create a change event in Procore from Clearstory. So for example, this is an unsolicited change from your subcontractor. You haven't created that change event, but it is a legitimate cost that you need to get into your forecast. That's where we would generally recommend creating a change event. Or if that change event already exists in Procore and you need to push in this line item, we can attach to any existing CEs from your Procore project. So this change order I'm pushing in here, we have three options under actions. You can either create a new line item, revise an existing line item, or link to an existing. Link is not going to update any of the costs in there. It's just going to make the connection. Revise would push your Clearstory cost and override whatever is currently in that line item in Procore. You have the option to add your budget codes as well at this point and push to Procore.
Yeah, and if you're a there's three options at the top right there as well. There's a lump sum option, which is going to be most of the use case for general contractors. You're going to be taking sub proposals and updating your change event line item or creating your change event. The subtotal and the line item options, those are more going to be used if you're a subcontractor. So if you're creating your change orders in Clearstory, you have the option to break up that cost either by the labor, material, equipment, and markups into different cost codes. You also have a line item option where you can take individual line items from that change order request and break out into separate cost codes. That's another option as well. So just like GC, you're mostly using the lump sum option for your sub proposals. And then if you're a specialty contractor, you're most likely going to be using the subtotal or line item. You could still use the lump sum option as well if you're just uploading a PDF change order request to Clearstory versus actually using Clearstory to create your change order request.
Yeah, thanks for clarifying that. Next, I wanted to show you guys what it looks like when you open that change event that we either just created or just connected to. So that link will take you directly to Procore into that change event, and you'll see any attachments that you pushed over. If you pushed one or multiple line items, they'll show up here in those attachments. Any descriptions, those types, change reasons, and then we will create a line item for each value that you pushed into Clearstory or pushed into Procore from Clearstory. These red items, if those of you that are unaware of those color codings, the red items mean that there has been a revision. So something about this change order does not match that line item in Procore anymore. So it's just flagging you to prompt you to review this change. Obviously, we don't want to push that into your budgets automatically. We want to give you guys the chance to review those changes before overriding that cost. And then if it is a legitimate change that you need to update, we'll walk through that same process, add to Procore, and then revise that existing line item.
Yep. And there's two areas. Jessica's in the change order log right now, where if you're a subcontractor, this is mostly where you're going to be connecting the integration and pushing data over from. From the general contractor side, you also have a second option. If you're using Clearstory to send pricing requests out through change notifications, you can also connect at that point as well. So when you go to distribute your pricing request, you can either pull in an existing change event and it'll pull in whatever documents you have tied to that. Or you can create a change event here as well and go ahead and create your detail line items here. So it brings in another option. If you are using Clearstory's pricing request tool, you can also make the link at that point as well. But overall, it's a very simple integration. Again, we only touch a few API points or fields within the change event. And it's very quick and easy to get set up and get rolling if you're new and starting out with the integration. So why don't we pause there? I think I saw a few questions come in, so let me open those up. All right. How quickly can teams get up and running with the integration, and what does setup typically look like? So in terms of Clearstory, you do need to have a professional license to turn on the Procore integration as well as our other out-of-the-box integrations. At that point, it's very simple. Clearstory is in the Procore marketplace. If you navigate to our integrations page, you'll see Procore is one of the options as well. And that's where you'll make the link on the account level side. And then once you're linked on the account level side, it would just be the project mapping, which Jessica showed at the beginning of the call. So you can get up and running easily in a few minutes, same day. It will depend on what your company has set up internally in terms of marketplace restrictions. So you may need to get the corporate power user to turn the Clearstory app on if you don't have that already turned on.
Most of my Procore users are able to do this on their own. I usually do it with them on a kickoff call. It takes maybe 5 to 6 minutes.
Yeah. And then let me pull up the chat again. We are sharing the recording. It'll be two places. I think we will send an email out to anyone who attended or registered with a link to the recording. And it'll also be posted in a few days on our Clearstory webinars page. When a change is highlighted, can you tell if it was changed on Clearstory side or Procore? So, Jessica, do you want to take that, or you want me to?
I was trying to look for the chat and see that question, so I was half listening. Sorry.
Yeah, I can get it. It's not bi-directional, right? So if you take the change order and push it into Procore from Clearstory to Procore, it's going to turn red if in Clearstory you get a revision and now the dollars don't change to what you forecasted into your change event. I don't believe if you take it and push it into Procore and like tweak the dollar value or the ROM there, I don't think it speaks back to Clearstory in terms of like it wouldn't turn red at that point.
It will, yes. Whether you change the cost in Procore or in Clearstory, if those lines don't match, it will flag it in Clearstory.
Okay, so if you do it on the Procore side, it will still connect it. Okay. How does the integration handle multiple CORs to the same change event? Yeah, that's a common question. And to be honest, it's probably a common workflow. We'll see GCs take, 5 responses, 5 different step responses within that change event, and you can update those at one time instead of doing each individually. So it's simple, from the COR screen or the change notification screen, you could grab the responses within that change event, and then you'll just multi-select them. And then when you click add to Procore, you can do all of them within this screen now. So it'll create either 3 new detail line items, or you can update. If you already have a line item for that sub proposal, for example, you can update all 3 of those at the same time.
Oh, that one, sorry, I picked a bad example. There we go.
Yeah. And then the linking option, the third option there, that's more commonly going to be used if you are setting up a project or doing catch up, from change orders that are in Clearstory that you've already forecasted into Procore manually and put that into a change event. So a lot of the projects that don't start with Clearstory right away, or you started early in the project and there's already a few change events out there, you can go ahead and make the link, which is really powerful for that filter. Now, when you filter your job, you'll see that it's already in a change event. through linking that to the applicable change event as well. And go ahead and pull that filter up one more time just so they can see where that filter would be applicable. And so most of the times you can come in here and filter by unassigned, and that's just going to show you any of your change orders that haven't been forecasted into Procore yet. Or if you want to filter by the update required as well, that's anything that you pushed that now there's a discrepancy between the two. Awesome. Let me jump in. When a change is highlighted. All right, I think I have all the questions, but let me pause for a minute. See if there's any other items that come in. Do you have any recommendations for influencing or switching from another ERP to Procore Financials? Have you heard of Procore Contacts? So the question was, do you have any recommendations when making the switch from another ERP to Procore Financials? We do have insight around that. I would recommend reach out to us separate from this, and depending on what the ERP is, we can go in the specifics in relation to how Clearstory plays into switching over. It depends if you're already using Clearstory as well, or if that would be a new rollout for the company.
That question came from one of my customers, so we will touch base offline. That's a great question. We can talk more about that.
All right, I think I grabbed everything from the chat and the Q&A. Awesome. And we are in-app with Procore as well. So, if you have the Procore app installed within if you have the Clearstory app installed within the Procore marketplace, some customers prefer to pull up Clearstory within Procore as another option. Cool. Well, let me give it maybe 30 more seconds. Otherwise, we'll wrap up early and share the recording. Yeah. And if you do, obviously we focus mostly on specifically the Clearstory and Procore financial integration. If you need to set up more time about specifically for a Clearstory demo, or connecting Clearstory with the other modules within Procore for like project management and sharing documents, you can put in a request through our website or reach out if you know your representative as well. Cool.
All right.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.